My fellow South Africans, just over a year ago, I confronted President Cyril Ramaphosa in Parliament with a number of these food items and explained to him that the cost of living crisis and massive inflation was driving up the cost of food to the point where many South African households were no longer able to feed their families, and that childhood malnutrition was stalking our country.
Now, I'm sure billionaires don't do their own shopping, but I can tell you today, cooking oil has gone up by 28%, sugar 6.6%, meat by 8.2%, veggies by 8.6%, and pilchards by 5%. This tin cost 15 Rand in 2015 and now costs 24 Rand.
I indicated to him at the time that there were some measures that government could take immediately to alleviate this food crisis. This included expanding the VAT-free status of a wider basket of goods, and including things like baby food, coffee, soup powder, and many other items, as well as removing VAT on certain protein items like bone-in chicken and beef. This would ensure that South African households, and particularly those who are living on grants and other stipends, would be able to provide protein and ensure that they were able to provide wholesome meals for their entire families. Since then, the news has broken that these food items have gone up by a further 14%, rendering many of these items now wholly unaffordable for ordinary South Africans. This government cannot sit on its hands for a moment longer while our citizens go hungry and our children go to school with empty stomachs. We will have a massive health crisis if this continues. And so I'm urging President Ramaphosa and his government to, for the first time in their lives, put the South African people first and understand that not everybody has a couch full of dollars in their homes and that life has got far too hard for far too many of our citizens. Government must act now, and we will be reiterating our call for an expansion of the VAT-free items that would immediately shave 14% off many of these basic foodstuffs, to drop the import tariffs on bone-in chicken and other meat products so that we can get cheaper products to consumers here in South Africa, and thirdly, to embark immediately upon a massive campaign to enact economic reforms that will stimulate the economy, attract investment, and get people out of poverty and into work. We know these things can be done because we're doing them where we govern. It is now time for national government to wake up to this crisis that is affecting all South Africans, reaching into the homes and to the dining room tables of our citizens. A government who says it cares can no longer ignore this hunger plight and malnutrition crisis facing our country. I ask you to join us and make your voice heard in making sure this government hears loud and clear that South Africans can no longer afford to feed their families, and it's now time for this government to take action.